Hey there, tiny explorers, welcome back to another fun adventure. Today we're going to dive into something super spooky but also super cool. Can you guess what it is? That's right, it's Halloween. But this time, we're not just talking about costumes and candy. We're going to learn some really fun and spooky facts about Halloween that you probably didn't know. Are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, first things first. Have you ever wondered where Halloween actually comes from? Halloween started over 2,000 years ago. Can you believe that? It all began with a festival called Samhain, pronounced Samhain. People believed that on October 31st, the boundary between the living and the dead was the thinnest, so ghosts could visit the earth. Spooky, right? To protect themselves from any wandering ghosts, people would dress up in costumes, kind of like how we do today. But instead of dressing up as superheroes or princesses, they dressed like ghosts or animals to blend in and confuse the real ghosts. Speaking of spooky, let's talk about one of the most famous Halloween traditions, carving pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns. Do you know why we do that? It all started in Ireland, and believe it or not, people used to carve turnips instead of pumpkins. They would carve scary faces into the turnips and place them in their windows to scare away evil spirits. Now let's talk about something you all probably love, trick-or-treating. Have you ever wondered where that came from? A long time ago, people used to give food and treats to ghosts to make sure they wouldn't play tricks on them. Over time, kids started going door to door, and instead of ghosts getting the treats, it became a fun game where kids get candy. Alright, tiny explorers, it's time for some fun facts about Halloween. Here's a spooky one. Have you ever heard that black cats are bad luck? This old superstition started in the Middle Ages. People believed that witches could turn into black cats and sneak around to cause trouble. But don't worry, today many people think black cats are just as lovable and lucky as any other cat. Now let's talk about witches. The image of a witch flying on a broomstick is super popular during Halloween, right? But do you know why? In ancient times, people thought witches were real and could cast spells to control the weather or talk to spirits. The broomstick became a symbol because it was something they used every day, and people thought witches could use them to fly around at night. Creepy, huh? And here's another fun one. Bats. Bats are always seen around Halloween decorations, but do you know why? It's because during those old Samhain festivals, people would light big bonfires to scare away spirits. The fires attracted bugs and bugs attracted bats. So people started to associate bats with spooky Halloween nights. Next up, let's talk about haunted houses. Ever been to one? Haunted houses are super popular during Halloween because people love to be scared, just a little bit of course. The tradition of haunted houses started when people began to enjoy scary stories, like tales about ghosts or vampires, especially during Halloween. Speaking of spooky things, let's talk about skeletons. Have you noticed how skeletons are everywhere on Halloween? That's because skeletons represent the idea of life after death, which fits perfectly with the idea of Halloween being a time when the dead come back to visit the living. But don't worry, these skeletons are all in good fun. Okay, tiny explorers, it's time for more fun facts. Did you know that Halloween is celebrated differently in other parts of the world? In Mexico, they celebrate a holiday called Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. It's a time when families remember and honor their loved ones who have passed away. People make beautiful altars, dress up and celebrate with colorful decorations and delicious food. It's a happy way to remember the people they love. Here's another cool fact. Did you know that in some parts of the world, people carve watermelons instead of pumpkins? It's true. In Australia, pumpkins are really hard to find in October because it's spring there. So people get creative and carve watermelons for their Halloween celebrations. How cool is that? And of course, we can't forget about all the yummy treats that come with Halloween. One of the most popular Halloween treats is pumpkin pie. Pumpkins aren't just for carving, they make a delicious dessert too. People also enjoy making cookies shaped like bats, ghosts, and other spooky things. Wow, tiny explorers. We've learned so many cool and spooky facts about Halloween today. This time, we learned about black cats, witches, bats, and even how people around the world celebrate this spooky holiday. Halloween isn't just about costumes and candy. It's filled with fun history, traditions, and cool facts that make it so special. That's all for today's adventure, but don't worry, there are plenty more fun facts to explore. If you had fun learning with us today, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to join us on our next exploration. And remember, tiny explorers keep being curious, stay spooky, and have a fantastic Halloween. Bye!